What's up, everyone? I'm Don Ferguson, and welcome back to another badass episode of Something New here in the Teak Life Basement Bar. Before we get to talking and tasting about what's hiding right over there, be sure to check out our digital media partner, Tequila and Spirits Magazine, where you can get a free magazine subscription delivered right to your email. You know you're on Instagram. Follow #FindTheBird, our other digital media partner. What in the world are we trying today? Well, look it. Here it comes. It's like a missile. Look at that. Bozal Mezcal. I have literally been waiting a long ass time to try this mezcal, so we're not even going to delay. Roll that intro. Boom. So if you're new to the Teak Life tasting platform, before we taste, we talk. Bozal Mezcal. Ladies and gentlemen, I've literally seen this everywhere. I've been dying to get it here. Here it is. It's time to talk about it. Bozal Mezcal is a product of the Three Badge Beverage Corp. Now, this is not a new company, even though they were established in 2016. They do have a very vast history that dates back to the 1880s. You can find it online. It's really interesting, but they're not new by any means. Three Badge Beverage Corp. Let's talk about them. So they have some wines, and that's how they started, as far as I know. But they also have some brands that you might have heard of. Uncle Val's Gin, Kirk and Sweeney Rum, Pasote Tequila, and Bozal Mezcal. Yes, I would love to have all of them here in the Teak Life Basement Bar to do a tasting episode. Of course! Enough about those other brands. We're here to talk about some mezcal, Bozal Mezcal. So what does Bozal mean? Well, it means wild or untamed, and it's a reference to the agave that's grown in Oaxaca or Guerrero. Today, we are trying their Ensemble. It's 100% agave. It's NAM 0472X. It's a joven. So if you follow the platform, because we educate people, that means unaged. I said this is an ensemble. Now, what that means is it's a mezcal that's made from 3 different types of agave, and they also call it maguey. Let's talk a little bit more about the types of agave, or maguey. First one is espadín. That is the most notable one when it comes to mezcal. That is the one that's used the most, and the reason for that is you can really harvest that at about 5 years of growing. So it's pretty common, but espadín is also known as the mother of all Blue Weber agave. And if you know about Blue Weber agave, that is the only type that can be used for tequila. The second type of agave is barril, and that is like a thick foliage wild agave that's grown. And a lot of mezcals like using wild agave because it's going to give you a very different complexity as far as the flavor profile, earthy tones, maybe vegetal. There's a lot of things going on with a wild agave. Last but not least is Mexicano, and that is a lowland agave. Now, if you know about lowlands, they're typically earthy, mineral rich, they have a lot more pepper to them, typically. But the Mexicano agave is actually a very big plant, and it isn't harvested until it has grown for 10 years. So there's 3 that are in this bottle, 3 different types of agave. That could produce a very interesting flavor. Okay, you've talked me into it. Let's just taste. Move it over here, people. That was a little pop, and I expected that because it was kind of loose, but the hat's off, the top's off. Top's off. Anyway, let's, ooh, do you smell that, people? Do you smell that? We're gonna get to pouring. Look at that beautiful juice coming out, but we can't taste it yet. We got to talk about this bottle. Okay, as we put the top back on and seal all of that flavor juiceness in there, let's talk about the bottle, which is really different. This is a custom ceramic bottle. And there's a history to it. So it's basically an homage to how mezcal was enjoyed or consumed. And they used to use terracotta copitas, so little glasses or clay glasses, terracotta. So you know, like if you go to the dollar store and you see those little tiny planters, that's not terracotta, it's a fake plastic. But you get the point of what I'm talking about, right? The bottle is a minimalistic approach, and that's all by design, because it's really about what's in the bottle, right? Nothing fancy, although they do use different colors, earth tones, for each different expression that they have. And they have multiples out on the market. This one, I think it really stands out. So if you're sitting at a bar, if you walk into a store, this is not going to be like a lot of other ones on the market. Now, the other interesting thing is on the bottom, you know, I do my inspection. It's like your mattress, you know, it has that tag underneath. And if you remove the tag, the police are coming. It's the same thing. I had to check underneath here, people. And what it says is Amphora 100, handcrafted in Mexico, verified porcelain. Look at that. Now, Amphora has been around since the 1920s. So there's a lot of thought and detail going into this. Even though it seems very simple, there's a lot going into this design of the bottle. Color. Look at that. It's colorless, okay? It's like a crystal, beautiful, whoa, look at those tears. It's just like a nice sheet, and they're all dripping. Can you guys see that at home? Can you see the big healthy pour that I didn't realize I did? Yeah, that's what I did. Look at that. I talked about the aromas. It was pouring out like a chimney with all of those carcinogens, but we're just gonna nose it. Ooh, yeah, you got that roasted agave. So, you know, if you know about mezcals, they're cooked a little bit differently most of the time. Open or closed pits, so stone pits. They cover them so it traps all that smokiness in. That's where the smoke from, you know, mezcals comes from, compared to the tequila process where they cook them in hornos. Now, some mezcals are actually cooked in ovens as well, but most of the time the mezcals that I know of have been cooked in a pit. Shut up, Don, get back to the nosing. So you got the roasted maguey. There's a sweetness. There's definitely a sweetness to it, and you know, agave is sweet, so you're going to pick up those sweet citrus tones, a little bit of vegetal. And what I mean by vegetal is it's not like you're running outside and grabbing some grass, although it's kind of the equivalent of that. It's a fresh plant, or let's think of a green pepper. If you crunch into a green pepper that's raw, that's going to have some vegetal properties to it. But yeah, this is nice. It's not overly smoky. The other good thing about it is I'm not getting a lot of alcohol vapors whatsoever. They're not coming up and drop kicking me like an MMA fighter in the eyeball or the nose. Very, very slight smoke. So I've been waiting for this for a long time, people. Let's do it. That sweetness just on the tongue, on the palate. I'm telling you, it is. It's very slight. Like, so in the nose, in the aroma, there's more smoke than what's actually in the juice itself. Very sweet. I wouldn't say artificial. And what I mean by very sweet is you're picking up that cooked agave. There's no doubt about that. On top of it, there is a little bit of pepper on the back end. So it's lingering. It's not trailing off into the distance like it just won at the slot machine and they're going to cash in their $100 chip. Is that how they do it, chips? But let's go in for round two. It definitely has a little bit of pepper to it, but I kind of expect that with an unaged, slight smoke, herbaceous, very herbaceous. It also has some floral tones to it, and I'm picking up like a citrus rind, almost like a lemon rind. So very light mezcal. A nice sipper. Now this is actually room temperature. It has not been chilled, and I really do feel that if we put in, you know, a whiskey rock or something like that, it would open it up even more. Okay, people, okay, calm down. Yes, I didn't tell you what's the proof. It's mezcal. A lot of your mezcals are not 80 proof. This one's going to be a little bit higher. So this one is going to be 94 proof. So that could be a little reason when I say it's a little spicy. It's got a little heat to it, a little pepper, but that's why. And a lot of your mezcals, and I held off because I didn't want to just drop it on you. I wanted it to be a surprise. Yeah, there's some mezcals out there that are really creeping up there on the alcohol Richter scale, as I like to call it. So let's do three's the charm. Whew, that is nice. It has some burn to it though. It really does, but it's because it's a high alcohol content. But I'm really picking up a lot of that citrus, herbaceous, so I'm getting some of that flavor tone from the soil that the agave are grown in. And the wild agave, that's really, really coming out. You're really getting some of that herbaceous. You're getting from the barrel that citrus, you know, the floral, a little bit of banana. And I mean like maybe a banana peel. You ever do that? You ever just get a little bit of that peel and kind of make that? Well, it's not that bad, but you're picking up that tropical banana in it, which is really nice, very different. The barrel, I mean, that's the big one. That's the big, you know, wild foliage agave. It's kind of like my hair was back in the never, actually. Yeah. I was born bald, I'm gonna die bald. Let's go with 4. It's a really nice flavor to it. I really like this. This is one you have to be very careful with though. Because of the high alcohol content, it can get you where you're going pretty quick. Depends on how fast you want to go. You want to go slow? You want to go fast? Sometimes people just want to turn up. Turn down for what, right? Let's talk about mezcal though. Huge growing sector in the spirits industry. In 2019, exports were around 500,000 cases. Not too shabby mezcal, but currently where we at? 1 million cases. Yes, mezcal is on the rise. A lot more people are growing fond of it. There's still a lot of people out there that don't like tequila, so they obviously probably don't like mezcal, but some people think it's a niche market. And some people think that it will equal tequila sales in the next 5 years. Time will tell, but I can tell you this. Mezcal is getting even more popular. A lot of your craft cocktails are including mezcal. There's typically one mezcal drink on a menu at a very nice, you know, taqueria, something like that. So I don't think mezcal is going away anytime soon, and this one is a very nice sipper. Just be careful with it. This is one that can creep up on you. I'm just saying. But I really like it. I'd love to try it in some cocktails, but you know, I hate to do that because it is really good. Has a nice sweetness to it. Good, you know, decent amount of, you know, sweet citrus, and then very slight smoke. So if that sounds like it's for you, pick up a bottle, okay? My glass is not down to the down. I really did a big pour. It's a high proof. I gotta be careful, people. It's a school night. But that wraps up another episode of Something New, where we try Bozal Mezcal, their Ensamble, and very good. Like, that flavor is still just kind of resting there. It's on my voice box. It wants to say something, and it says, I'm good. So we're done. Be sure to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, the Twitter, so you can see what we're going to be trying on future episodes. And people, life's too short to drink bad liquor. Choose wisely. I think I'll make a Oaxacan old-fashioned. How does that sound? What do you think about that? See you on the next episode.